Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday, October 5th, 2023 South Haven Planning Commission meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Luke, if you'd call the roll.
Clark Gruber.
Here.
Larry Heinig.
Here.
Michael Neese.
Here.
Amy Nichols.
Here.
Bob Sherman. George Sleeper.
Here.
Janice Varney. Tim Stegman.
Here. Next up, we'll have the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, item 3, approval of the meeting minutes for September 7th.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the meeting minutes from September 7th as printed.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item 4, public comment. Citizens in the audience may address the Planning Commission regarding items on the agenda for which there is no scheduled public hearing. So that would mean item 5 and item 7. Or item 5.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
it'd be 5, 7,
And
and
eight.
8.
Okay, 5, 7, and 8. State your name, address, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Let me get all set up here and not waste my minutes. Can't
And make
set up.
sure and adjust the microphone.
Okay. 1 second. Hi, how are you? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Grace Borgfield from 302 Michigan Avenue. As all of you know, this has been a long road for my husband and I. And I see tonight you have 2 options in front of you. First off, I want you to know that I agree that there should be some type of zoning in place for permanent structures. I do agree to that. I did go back and dig up the report given to the Planning Commission some time ago, well over a year ago. And it has the grid of 13 municipalities, of which zoning provided 10 in Michigan, 3 outside of the state, for fire pits, fireplaces, and outdoor cooking units. I'm only speaking about barbecue grills now, or cooking fire regulations that's provided on this grid. All 10 jurisdictions in the state of Michigan do not have any zoning associated with outdoor cooking. Of those 3 states, 2 had restrictions that were out of state. One would have to have a permit, and the other one had a height requirement. But there are no restrictions on setbacks on any of the outdoor units on the grid provided to the Planning Commission well over a year ago. In August of 2023, the Burn Committee recommended option A. There was a concern for setbacks for wood burning and fire pits and fireplaces at the time. We all know there will be a workaround for a resident who really wants an outdoor cooking unit, as the precedence has been established on Erie. That unit is well less than 10 feet recommended by the Burning Committee. Today, I can build a permanent wall around a barbecue grill or a cooking unit, with no restrictions on size, depth, or width. It just has to be 3 feet from the property line. I can slide a portable grill or unit into that section, and all is good. I had Cher come out and inspect our proposed outdoor cooking unit. The fire chief was impressed with our design and safety and that went into the design. The design provided a shutoff valve within 10 feet of the grill that he said was very important to his department. He is not a fan of all those propane tanks in this community, and anyone who has a propane grill has a backup tank in their garage. I wonder if the future homeowners of this city will be required to notify the homeowner's insurance that they have an additional propane tank in their garage. We did design our unit with the utmost safety in mind. I think of all the tanks in this community, and I'm grateful to the 2 houses, one house to the south of us and one to the east of us, that has since then installed gas lines with shutoff valves in their existing outdoor cooking units. I know there's concern over the setbacks for fire pits and fireplaces that burn wood. Any homeowner who wants to put a permanent fire pit or fireplace must meet the side and setbacks of 25 feet from the property line. That owner will be installing a permanent fire pit. That unit, the owner who decides to do that, will probably use no less than 10 to 15 feet from their own personal residence. So that means a parcel would have to be 35 to 40 feet on each side, and any small parcel in this community lacks the distance needed. If the parcel is larger than can meet the 25-foot side and back property lines, then of course the unit will be allowed. The workaround of all this is a portable fire pit and a fireplace that burns wood 3 feet from the property line. I tried to ask Luke recently how many residents have requested a permit for the fire pit or fireplace, but had to request a FOIA, and I decided not to do that. Not only that, I couldn't have it by today. I respectfully disagree the Planning Commission's request to review 1,700 parcels, as their time is very valuable, and with an election right around the corner, who knows what zoning will be drastically impacted. And if you think the zoning department is busy now, goodness knows what will be going on in the future with the next election. My hope that this committee will choose option A and put this to rest and move it on to the council. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Halle Borgfjord, 302 Michigan Avenue. And I was here in front of your board here about 2 months ago and asked you how many people complain about this fire pit and burning issue here in South Haven, and you didn't have the answer. So now you had 2 months to count that one person who complained at that point. You know, is there any more people who complained?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, 6 of you. You had 2 months to count those people who complained. I wanted to find out how many people complained. How do you come up with this issue? If only one person is complaining and he's some big shot in town.
I'll give you a quick answer.
And then you
They
listen.
complained
What's
to
that?
city council sent it to us. That's how we wound up with it.
And you still can't find the answer how many people complained?
I can.
Well, I asked you 2 months ago, and nobody listens. My wife had been sending an email for over a year and a half, and she never got a response or anything because she didn't like to listen to her suggestions or comments. I mean, this is a total disrespect to the residents of this city. Total respect. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You come with something that one person is complaining about, it's ridiculous.
Again, I can repeat, city council sends us things to look
Well,
at.
talk
To be
about
ashamed
city-
of myself for looking at what they're sending to me, I don't think that's the correct response.
Well, let me tell you how reputable the city council is. They threw this ordinance through without, half of the people didn't even read the ordinance, and they okayed it. So what kind of credibility is that?
We're still looking at this, and then we're gonna send them a recommendation, and then they'll decide if they're gonna change the ordinance.
Well, my question is, ask them how many people complained. If I complain about I don't like a diesel trucks in town, are you going to listen to me and ban the diesel trucks in town?
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, and I expect answer. You can't have somebody, 1 or 2 people complain about something and say, there's a lot more issue in this city than burning fire or burning wood in this city.
I would agree.
You got roads to fix, sidewalks to fix, all kinds of other things. It's something to think about. I mean, I respect the board, but I mean, when you come with something and there's nothing, you can't back it up. You have to find something to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, I will add that communications the Planning Commission has received have been from Mike Campbell on October 2nd regarding fire pit parcel analysis. Another one from Elaine Herbert on September 18th, concerned that the Locker PUD approval conditions were not read aloud during the September 7th Planning Commission meeting. And Dan Agnello on the same date, September 18th, encouragement for city council to vote against approving Locker PUD project. I think for our next meeting, I'd like a discussion topic put on it for the planning commission to discuss whether or not some of the staff recommendations, which usually number no less than 5, and I've seen a maximum, I think, 22, that whether we will read each recommendation into the motion, or whether we'll do it as referring to the recommendations in the motion. So for now, I think what I'd like to do when it comes to that, we'll just put the recommendations up on the screen for tonight. And then it's up to you if you want to read each recommendation or refer to them in their entirety, okay? But we'll discuss at our next meeting how we're going to conduct that going forward, okay? All right. Next up, unfinished business that's actionable, we have none. New business that is actionable is item 5, 333 Lovejoy Avenue, site plan review. Kelly, if you'd start us off.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The application tonight for 333 Lovejoy Avenue is for a site plan amendment to expand a mini storage facility on a 2.68 acre site in the I-1B zoning district. The original site plan was approved in 2005 as part of a special land use application with 6 storage buildings on the site. Following the 2005 approval, 2 of the approved buildings were constructed along with a paved surface surrounding the buildings and an on-site stormwater basin. The property is now under new ownership and Farmer Development. The new owners would like to reconfigure the site to narrow the outer drives and install 8 total buildings instead of the 6 that were approved in 2005. The application is compliant with building height, setbacks, parking, drive and aisle widths, landscaping, lighting requirements. The city engineer's report did note a couple of stormwater-related items that we would like to see shown on final plans prior to construction, in addition to clean out of the existing stormwater basin. We have representatives here tonight from Farmer Development and from Abbenmarsh who are working with Farmer. They can discuss the project and answer questions. This is, again, site plan review for a site plan amendment. So no public hearing.
Okay. Would be a good page to put up, 29? Yeah, put up 29. And then if representative wishes to come forward. Hi, how you
evening.
doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you want to do?
Okay, sure. Currently, we have 2 storage buildings that measure 30 by 150. Each is 4,500 square foot. And we have a good portion of land that's currently grass. We'd like to add 6 additional buildings to that current location.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for him? No? Okay. None? All right, well, thank you.
That's it?
Do you have any more?
Not quite yet, but.
Any questions for staff?
Kelly did mention the stormwater issues in the engineering review, and I was going to formulate that into an additional recommendation for the condition of approval.
Okay. Could you put up page 12 too, specifically item 2? Yeah, plenty of margin. And then page 16. 15 and 16. Yeah, where we're showing items 1 through 5 of the recommendation.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. All right, George.
I would like to make a motion that the Planning Commission approve the site plan for 333 Lovejoy with the recommendations 1 through 5, and an additional recommendation that the recommendations from the city engineer's report be incorporated into the stormwater plan.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? None? Well, all right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good luck on your addition.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Item 6, public comment. Citizens in the audience may address the Planning Commission regarding items that were not on this agenda. Is there anybody that wishes to address the commission on items that were not on the agenda? All right, seeing none, we'll go to unfinished business. Item 7, permanent fire pit, fireplace, barbecue regulations, proposed text amendment discussion. Kelly?
Sure. So as Grace mentioned earlier tonight, we do have 2 options in the packet tonight for proposed fire pit, fireplace, and barbecue zoning ordinance text regulations. Option A contains the recommendations from the subcommittee that were first presented to the Planning Commission in August. And option B is the text that we discussed at that meeting that would prohibit permanent wood burning fire pits and fireplaces. Again, we're just talking about regulations for permanent fire pits, fireplaces, and barbecue structures. One note on the option B text is that the proposed setback in the materials for permanent barbecue structures should be noted at 10 feet as it is in the A text. There's a typo there that says 15 feet. That was a carryover from a previous version. So that should say 10 feet just as it does in the A text. At the end of the September meeting, Planning Commission meeting, we did also discuss progress on a parcel analysis that was related to the number of lots in the city on which we would be able to permit wood burning fire pits with a 25-foot setback. We talked about narrowing down the number of lots from the total number of lots in the city, but not being able to fully account using a software program for, the exact number of lots where we could site a fire pit or a fireplace. And completing this analysis would be cumbersome and time-consuming. And I think from a staff perspective, we're at a point where we would recommend that if it is the Planning Commission's intent to prohibit wood-burning fire pits or fireplaces, it would be better to prohibit them rather than trying to regulate them out through a prohibitive setback. So rather than paralysis by analysis, if the intent is simply to ban the wood burning structures, then we could proceed with the B text over the A text. But again, that will be for you all to discuss and decide which version you'd like to see move forward. I want to remind everybody, it's been nearly 17 months. It's almost a year and a half since we received the council directive to review these regulations and consider possible amendments. It was during the spring of 2022 that city council members were being contacted by members of the public regarding the restrictive nature of this ordinance. And it was at the May 2nd, 2022 council meeting that the council directed the planning commission to review the regulations and consider amendments. So here we are in October, and I think we want to make sure that we get it as right as possible, but I think we do need to make some progress.
What meeting was that? The May what?
May 2nd, 2022 city council meeting.
That's the one you'll want to check. That'll give you who complained. Okay. Anything else?
No, not from me.
Okay. So I think now we've got an A and B. Probably the discussion should be those, if you're in favor of A, say why. Or if you're in favor of B, say why, and we'll just do the discussion that way. So whoever wants to start.
I'd be happy to start.
Okay.
Again, I've been part of this process for the 17 months as part of the subcommittee. Subcommittee went through some changes in personnel, which also impacted changes in positions a bit. I believe that, from my point of view, I was judging it from the feedback that we've got from residents during our public hearings before, that there were two primary issues they asked us to look at. Fire safety, the potential of embers igniting a fire. I still remember the video that we saw of the embers flying off the fire pit right next to the fence of a property owner. And then the second issue, of course, was the smoke, health hazards, and other irritations caused by the smoke. It's not just health hazards. It's the ability to open one's windows during the summer and get the lake breeze without having to breathe in the smoke from a neighbor's fire pit. My aim and my objective on that subcommittee was to propose a preventive ordinance rather than having to come back with a corrective one later on. Initially, I was aligned with option A. I treasure the work that was done by the other members of the task force, and I supported A because the implication was that if we went with A, wood-burning fire pits would be outlawed, and we wouldn't need to have the specification for the propane or the natural gas. However, Mike Campbell's data challenged that assumption, and I found no reason to dismiss Mike's data out of hand. His data suggests that many more properties could still have permanent wood-burning fire pits under option A. Enforceability was another issue that I still struggle with. How are we going to monitor if the smoke or embers trespass onto neighboring properties? Do we really want our residents to call the police? How can we ensure that only seasoned wood is used? Are enforcement agents going to take a look at everybody's wood pile to make sure that they're using seasoned wood? I don't think so. Enforcing such an ordinance puts an undue strain on those responsible for upholding our zoning laws. Again, I don't believe that the police would be involved in it. I believe it would be our zoning officers, our enforcement officers. That's just not a workable solution. Given these considerations, I support option B. It's straightforward and enforceable. Gas-fueled pits are smoke-free. They don't emit airborne embers. Since then, I have, while involved in a different conversation on a different matter, New Buffalo's mayor informed me that their decision to ban all fire pits followed a house incident, that a house burned down in the middle of New Buffalo that was ignited by a neighbor's fire pit. I think we need to be mindful that it is a safety issue, not just a health issue. By adopting A, what message are we sending to our residents? Are we dismissing their concerns? Are we telling them? Is that, in being transparent, are we saying to them, we've looked at it and we don't really think there's a problem? Or are we saying, we looked at it and we think that this sufficiently addresses your concern about smoke and about safety? In my opinion, again, one of the things that we're dealing with is there is a stark difference between opinions in our neighborhoods for those that are enjoying the cottage experience of our neighborhoods and those that are indeed living the daily life of a resident of the neighborhood. They're looking at two different things with these fire pits. I believe we should prioritize the latter. It's time to listen to our residents. I urge the committee to uphold the quality of life issue for our residents by granting them the relief they seek through option B. That's my take.
I would go with option A, that came from our subcommittee. In my opinion, hasn't changed.
Let me just add, because again, I want to make sure.
I thought you were done.
I said option A, if it indeed does what you guys said it would do, prohibit fire pits in our neighborhoods.
I don't think I said that. I went with A.
George did.
Okay, I'm still going with A.
Okay. George?
I'm in favor of option A. I think it strikes a balance between allowing people to do some permanent wood fire pits, but still keeping a distance from the neighboring properties. But I also, I mean, if the majority of people want to go with option B, I'd go with that too.
I'm an option A person, and I have been from the beginning, but I sort of agree with George. Like, first of all, can I just say I'm really happy that we have a choice. This is really nice to see it laid out this way. Secondly, if we approve an option and we send it to city council, are we allowed to send the other option as like, this is what we also considered? Because if they don't approve it, it's going to come back to us again, right?
That's something we're discussing a little bit later.
Okay, I'll hold that thought for now. Thank you. So option A, thank you.
Okay.
I have nothing to add.
You don't like either one?
I think that all of the arguments are on the table.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add.
All right. I'm kind of like Larry in that one, but I would go a step further and say I think both of these are valid. They both have pros and cons. And I think we've done about all we can with this item, short of probably something I mentioned earlier, which we can't really do from this position, which city council could say ban wood burning from June, July, and August when everybody has their windows open, because that seems to be the major complaint we've heard. So I would say we recommend either of these options to city council, including an addendum, what I just said about June, July, and August banning wood burning. They could consider that, but I don't think we can go any further with this because we're going to be kind of deadlocked. We're short some people tonight.
So you're recommending giving them both of the?
Yes.
Okay.
With the caveat to also look at whether they want to ban burning in June, July, and August.
Is restricting the timing of the burning a land use issue? Or is it more of a, instead of a zoning ordinance, more of a code of ordinance?
It's more of a
type thing?
code. That's why I say we can't really do anything with that idea at this level.
I don't even think we should make a recommendation on that then.
Well, it's something maybe that'll help spur the conversation, though. Because of the complaints that we've heard, but really we can't do that from this format.
So we could give them an option A, an option B, and oh, by the way,
Yeah.
something to consider is X.
Exactly.
I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah, because
I
I
thought we had
think
to have something.
if we gave them a C, then they might choose one of those, where if we make it an X, it's so far away.
That's what happens.
Alphabetically?
It's better in the
I,
alphabet, okay.
I think there's also a benefit to that, as well as we can again address it back to the situation that we're trying to remedy. You know, we're not just, which of these best suits the remedy? So I think the option C could be included as well.
Okay.
We will need to schedule an official public hearing at this level because it's a zoning ordinance amendment. So I don't think we can send it forward at this time without scheduling a planning commission.
My understanding would
hearing.
be, since we didn't pick one, that we could forego the public hearing and city council could hold the public hearing.
I guess that's something we can clarify. If we need to hold the public hearing at this level, we'll notice
Okay.
one, and we'll have one at the next meeting. If we find out that we don't need to, then we can send it forward. We can send forward the options, A
Do-
and B.
Do we need something official
Yeah,
through a vote to make that happen?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. We have to have the motion with A, B, and asterisk.
Would the motion for, which includes option B, include a correction of the table?
Yes. So it's a rather lengthy motion, but we can work through it. Who wants to be the all-star?
It's your committee.
I'll go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you go for it. I'm not a fan of people out there making motions, I guess. Go right ahead.
All right. I'll make a motion that the planning commission recommend to city council option A of the proposed fire pit ordinance and option B with the correction of the table from 15 feet to 10 feet on the barbecue row, and include a recommendation to consider including in the code of ordinances a restriction on the time frame for wood burning.
Okay, I like that.
The end.
And second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? And I'll say maybe if it doesn't have to come back here, we're acknowledging that it goes right to city council and they can discuss it, hold a public hearing.
My understanding, and again, I will clarify, my understanding is that the planning commission needs to hold a public hearing on ordinance amendments. So the city council could hear this recommendation and choose an option and send it back
Okay,
for a public hearing to be held here at this level.
that's acceptable.
Well, city council has to introduce it first. Depending on the timing, city council could introduce it. We could have a public hearing at another meeting, and then city council can approve it at a future meeting.
Okay. I think it works.
And if not, it's coming right back next month for us to have a public hearing.
Right. Mm-mm. Okay, all good? Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right. New business, discussion, non-actionable, zoning ordinance comprehensive update. Kelly?
This item is the regular quarterly update on the progress of the comprehensive zoning rewrite process. So again, that process has been taking place over the last year or so through a committee that contains Larry Heinig and George Sleeper and Mary McManus. We've been working with Williams and Works, and the minutes and meeting materials continue to be loaded to the city's documents on demand website. Over the last couple of months, we've looked at site plan review chapters, administration and enforcement chapters, a chapter on landscaping, lighting, and signs. And next,
Could you put page 54 up, please?
I sure can. Next month, I anticipate that we will be looking at definitions. And then the group will be ready to start reviewing the document as a whole. And then fairly shortly, the Planning Commission will be asked to begin participating in the review as well. Sorry, I can't zoom in and speak at the same time.
So you're pretty much back on track.
We're fairly close to being back on track. I think the definitions here, we were hoping to have reviewed in September, and we'll be reviewing them at the October meeting. So we're about a month behind, but pretty close. And George and Larry, feel free to weigh in anything you'd like to add.
Well, I think that the detail that we've gone over each section, I'm hoping we can get done with the complete draft review in 2 months, and that will get us kind of caught up, so.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I think we might need to bump it to January, February, and March for our review at the commission. I think 2 months is going to be not enough time.
Yes.
Maybe it will be, but I'm just from the hip right now, I think we're going to need more time. It's a pretty sizable document.
It
I
is.
agree, Tim, without understanding the mechanics of what that review actually is going to involve. We're going to go line by line, taking a look at it. Are we going
Not
to get
like
a
short-term
synopsis?
rental, we're not. No.
Yeah, there's a lot to be determined before then, but I agree, we're going to need more than one meeting.
So anyway, I was just saying, you keep that in back of your mind for the 2024 calendar. I think that one's going to be off. Yeah. Anything else, Larry?
No, I think we did pretty well keeping that schedule that was laid out that far ago, long ago, as close as we did. And the fact that it may take the Planning Commission a little bit longer doesn't surprise me at all.
That was a pretty aggressive schedule.
Yeah, it was pretty aggressive schedule, and you never know that far out where things are going to be. Our committee has been pretty stable and has worked well together, and we didn't know that a year ago.
That's true.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kelly, for the update. Glad that's moving along. Now we're down to item 9, commission member and staff comments. Any staff comments?
I just wanted to point out, I think all of you receive updates from MSU Extension. You should have recently received a couple of training notifications, some a Master Citizen Planner webinar series, and a couple of options for some housing-related webinars there as well. So if you didn't get that email or don't have it at the top of your inbox, let me know and I can resend that if it's something you're interested in. They're coming up pretty quickly here at the first part of October.
All right, where did we start last month?
You started with
Do you-
Daryl. You started
Oh,
with Daryl.
Daryl, that's right, because he was leaving. All right, we'll start with George.
No comments.
Perfect. Mike?
hard to follow, George, always is, you know, but, again, Kelly, I believe the one that you didn't mention, there's, one that piqued my interest was the STR, workshop session, which I have signed up for, so.
You know the date on that one?
Not off the top of my head.
That's fine.
But it's coming up real quick.
Why don't you send us a reminder on that one? That'd probably be a good one for at least half of us to visit.
I also received Tyler, who was running the show there, also said if there's ever enough interest in any of those topics, he's quite willing to come and speak to us here, so.
And Tyler has come and given a presentation to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and
He's very good.
I know he would do the same if there was a topic this board was interested in hearing on.
Okay. All right. Done? All right. Amy?
No comments.
Ooh.
I know, shocking.
No comments.
All right. Larry?
I'd like to congratulate staff on the 333 Lovejoy. That was so well done. We didn't have a question left, so good job.
No, I think that's a good point, Larry. That was an application that was really complete. And we didn't have to interpret a lot, so.
It was, and it was really well done on the part of the applicant.
Yes, yeah. That also.
So well done, it didn't need my dad joke to say, so was the farmer going to be storing grain in that new storage facility? But I didn't.
No,
I
you
didn't.
did not.
Kept it to myself.
So, okay, what's on tap for next month?
I think we've got a couple of smaller projects coming, but I do expect that we'll have meetings.
Okay. And as far as our ad hoc committees, the fire one we're done with now, right?
I expect
And we
so.
still have shoreline.
We do.
And is there any other ad hoc committee we have out, or just the shoreline?
Just the shoreline at this time.
Okay. So we're closing out the books for the year. We're getting close.
Yeah,
Very good.
getting close to annual report time.
Yep.
Hard to
All right.
believe.
Well, thank you. And I don't have any other comments in that, so I'll entertain a motion.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
It's been moved and supported to adjourn the meeting. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.